Welcome back. Yesterday, on the podcast, I shared where my own purpose began. The moment I stopped drifting and started deciding. Today, we are going deeper into the man who gave this principle its name, Napoleon Hill. He spent over 20 years studying more than 500 of the world's most successful people of his era. Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and more. He was trying to answer one question: what separates those who achieve? What separates the extraordinary achiever from those who don't? His answer will shock you. His answer didn't start with money or talent or connection. It started with a simple principle he called definiteness of purpose. And today, I want to slow down and actually unpack what he meant by that, because most people who could heal have never really started with this definition. Heal didn't mean having a goal the way we casually use the word today. For Hill, definiteness of purpose was more, listen to me, definiteness of purpose was closer to a fixed decision, a chief aim that a person commits to with such a clarity that it begins to organize the rest of his life around it. I'm telling you. He described it as knowing exactly what you want, having a plan for getting it, and backing that plan with a burning desire that doesn't waver when things get hard. Note the three parts: a specific outcome, not what I want to achieve, not I want to be successful, but something you can actually describe to another person just in one sentence. A plan, even an imperfect one, it must still be a plan. A desire, intense enough to survive setbacks. Most people have fragments of this. They have a vague hope, or a plan with no real desire behind it, or a desire with no direction at all. Hill's insight was that achievement requires all three at once. Here is the mechanism most people miss. Clarity doesn't just feel better, it changes behavior. When your purpose is vague, every decision requires renegotiation. Should I take this opportunity? Should I not? Should I say yes to this or should I say no? Without a defined aim, you are litigating your life one choice at a time, I'm telling you. And that can be exhausting. It's also why many capable people stay stuck, not from lack of ability, but from lack of filter. If definite purpose acts as, as a filter, it doesn't make decisions easy because they are small. It makes them easy because you already know what you are optimizing for. He'll believe that once a person fixes a definite purpose in mind, the subconscious mind begins to work towards it, even when you are not consciously thinking about it. Whether you take that literally or as a psychological insight about focused attention, the practical result is the same. Clear purpose produces consistent direction. Vague purpose produces consistent drift. Desire versus definite purpose. This is where I think Hill gets misunderstood most of the time. Desire says, I want that. It's emotional, it's real, but it's often passive. People can people can want something for years without making any inch towards it, any attempt to realizing it. But definite purpose says, listen to this. This is why I must pursue it. And here is what I'm going to do about it. This is why I'm going to pursue this degree. This is why I'm going to pursue this business. This is why I must establish this school. This is why I must establish this farm. This is why I must invest in this business. And here is what I'm going to do about it. It converts wanting into obligation. It's the difference between admiring mountain and deciding which route you are going to use to climb the mountain. It's just more than, oh, I admire that mountain, but which route are you going to use to climb the mountain? He'll actually place desire inside definiteness of purpose. You see what he did? So desire is a fuel, not as the whole engine. It's the fuel of purpose, not the engine of purpose. Desire without definiteness burns bright and goes nowhere. A lot of people have desire, but they never get to anything. They never amount to anything because there's no definiteness attached to the desire. Definiteness without desire is a plan on paper that nobody follows through on. You need the one thing and the desiring together. You need a one thing, you need a desiring. Why most people drift? Here was blunt about this. He believed that the majority of people fail not from lack of opportunity, but from lack of a definite chief aim. I'm telling you, I've seen people with no definite chief aim. They let life happen to them instead of directing it. Life just happened to them instead of they directing life. Life and the world bends its knee to those who've got definiteness of purpose. Think about how the purpose actually forms for most people. It's rarely deliberate. It's shaped by what their parents expected. Some people, that's how. They're not deliberate. They're not intentional. Their purpose is what the parents expect. That's why they go to the school the parents want them to go. They enroll at a university and take on a career or study a course that parents want them to study. What their peers were doing. Sometimes it's a peer pressure thing. My friend is doing this, so that's what I'm doing it. Sometimes they do what seems safe or what comes the easiest. Yeah, what comes the easiest. But listen to this. Listen to this. There's nothing wrong with any of those influences. Nothing wrong with any of those influences, but they aren't the same thing as a chosen purpose. A chosen purpose is different from what you decide to do because of your parents' influence. Yeah. And so people end up years in career, no fulfillment, a relationship pattern, a way of living, and they can't quite explain why because nobody decided it. It accumulated. Drift isn't usually dynamic. I've come to realize that it's quiet. It's saying yes to what conveniently, what, now how do I put it? Drift is actually saying yes to what is convenient long enough that convenience becomes your whole direction. Yeah, I'll say that again. Drift is not dynamic, it is quiet. It is saying yes to what's convenient long enough that convenience becomes your whole direction. Yeah, you look for things that are convenient. Hill's principle is really a confrontation with that quietness. Hill's principle, what Napoleon Hill tells us, is confrontational. It asks, if you don't choose your purpose, something else will choose it for you. Hill pointed us toward purpose as the starting point of achievement. And there's a real wisdom in that. But purpose doesn't only have a psychological dimension, it has a spiritual one too. Tomorrow and throughout the weeks ahead, we are going to explore how scripture speaks to us about purpose long before he ever got on the scene, long before he ever put pen on paper, and how modern research on goal setting and motivation confirm this much of what he observed. But we're grateful that he gave us a language for something ancient. Here's what I want you to do today. Don't wait until you have it perfect. Take out a notebook or a pen. Open your note apps on your phone right now and write one sentence. Your first draft, definite purpose statement, not a paragraph. One sentence. Specific enough that a stranger will understand exactly what you are aiming at. I will be rough. That's fine. I'll be raw. That's fine. That's why I am who I am. Hill himself said most people first attempt needs reversion. You know what? That's why Hill said. Most people first attempt needs reversion. That's okay. The goal today isn't a polished mission statement. The goal is to stop drifting for 5 minutes and put something definite on paper. Drop your first draft in the comment if you are comfortable sharing. I will be reading them. Tomorrow we go to scripture and start connecting this ancient principle to something even deeper. Until then, write it down. Clarity starts with a sentence. Stay blessed.